Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Smack Talk Live. I am Coach, along with Lone Wolf. Even though that's not the name on there, that's his name, Lone Wolf.
Yeah, I'll have to change that.
And welcome to our inaugural show on the Riverside app. Also streaming on YouTube and Twitch for the first time. So
Yes.
we don't know how this is going to work. We may not be able to be as colorful as we have been just because of terms of service and things like that. So we'll try to keep it in check as much as possible.
But we'll have to be careful, right, Coach?
Yeah, we'll have to be careful. So for those of you that a little background of our show, we started the show during COVID, like most people did. We were over at Podbean for the last 5 years.
Yeah, I would say that's about right.
5 years, doing weekly shows about sports, doing some fun stuff with top tens. But Podbean decided to change, and we can't live stream over there anymore. So we are here on the Riverside app, and happy to be here. First time live on video. So we will see how this all goes and take it from there. So just to start out, obviously we will be talking about sports. We have the X feed up right now. Normally we will have some stuff planned, but because we're just trying to figure out Riverside, I don't know if we have anything really planned this week. But we're going to go through it. Do need to talk about the sad passing of Kyle Busch. Of course, he passed away from a severe reaction to pneumonia. Not ammonia, everybody. Pneumonia. It's two different things. Ammonia is a chemical.
Yeah.
Pneumonia is an illness. And it's a tragic thing, and especially with, he's our age, he was our age,
right.
A little bit younger than us, actually. Just won a race, and he was actually in doing some like virtual testing in a simulator when he became unresponsive, rushed to the hospital, unfortunately passed away. So our thoughts and prayers go to Kyle Busch, his family, his team, everything like that. Obviously lots of tributes to him today during the Indy 500 and the NASCAR race.
Right. Just a crazy situation too, Coach. I mean, it was all very sudden.
Right. It came on suddenly. He reported during the race last week. During it, he wasn't feeling well, but this thought it was like a bug or the flu. Won the race, and then, just went to work and had unfortunately the puking of blood and unresponsiveness. So
and he ended up getting sepsis, which is pretty severe. It's a pretty severe thing for those that don't know what it is.
Right. Yeah. So the sepsis was a reaction from the pneumonia that he had.
Right.
And so sepsis is basically, to make it easy for everybody that has never dealt with it, it's basically a very severe blood infection that basically shuts down your internal organs. And a lot of people that end up getting it die. It's a high mortality rate. I remember, I don't know if you remember this, Wolf, was it 8 years ago when I was in the hospital for a week? That was their big concern with my condition, was sepsis.
Right, I do remember that.
That's why I was there for a week, was A, to make sure that the condition I was in there for was taken care of, but then that I didn't get sepsis from all the treatment that I was getting that would increase my chances for it. So it can happen to anybody at any time,
Yeah.
but it just normally there are signs and symptoms prior to the severity, and there wasn't. This was just like just out of nowhere.
Right.
And yeah, he unfortunately passed
I
away.
mean, it was like I said, it was just one of those things that there was some article about him winning the race, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. I don't follow NASCAR that closely, but I think people know who he is because he's a pretty big name in racing, obviously. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, yep, he passed away. I'm like, what? What?
Right.
Since when? It was just weird.
Right.
It just came on so quickly. Yeah.
So yeah, they had a couple of things. Obviously it's Memorial Day weekend.
Right.
So there's a lot of that stuff going on. But I mean, this is the kind of thing. The cool thing about racing is everyone wants to see the crashes and all that
Yeah.
stuff. It was here's um this was a teammate of his. Richard Childress Racing, that's who he was with. They have painted on the infield logo. So a lot of heartfelt things.
Yeah.
In one thing, and I'm gonna just stop here. I'm not obviously, we could play the clip, but I don't think we need to. Before or I believe it was after the race, I believe Bubba Wallace, and I'll be honest, a couple years ago there was stuff going on with him that we really didn't agree with, and we
Right.
kind of got on him a little bit. Seems to have matured and settled into his just doing his career. But he went and knelt by, I believe, the painted insignia for Kyle Busch, and
Yeah.
people online are just are trolling him. And it's like, what are you people doing?
Yeah. Why?
This is what's wrong with why we are having these issues around the world. It's like
Right.
somebody passed away, close people to him are paying homage to him and grieving, and we're gonna get on him for it.
Just let him have that moment. Whatever you think about him other than that, like you said, he had some issues before. Whatever you think about him now, that moment is just that moment. Let it be. There's no need to do that whatsoever, coach. I don't get that at all. So
Right. Yeah, and I just don't get it. So
yeah.
again, thoughts and prayers go out to everybody that knew Kyle Busch, including obviously his family, his
Right.
friends, and his team. Um,
Yeah.
it's always hard to lose somebody. Um, you know,
And there were so
but
many moments of like tribute for him.
yeah,
Kyle Larson's son coming over and consoling his family. There's so many different things that
yeah,
were out there. So
during the Indy 500 on the 18th lap, they put a big tribute to him up on the position board for the Indy 500.
right.
Pretty cool tributes. You know, it's hard to lose anybody, but especially when it's kind of a out of nowhere thing.
Yeah.
You weren't expecting, it's even harder. So,
Right.
so got the heavy heartstring stuff done here. So moving
Yeah.
on. Obviously, here we go. First story. Actually, this is old. These are old. See, this is what I don't like about the online stuff, though,
Right.
because you get these stories news feed. That's May 20th. Come on, so why is that at the top of my feed? I don't know.
Right. It should be the latest thing, right? What's going on right now. So are we
Oh,
talking NBA? Are we talking NHL here?
right. Well, we're gonna go down to 1 hour ago. Carl leads 3-0 through. Or you know what? We're gonna go back to our roots here, Lone Wolf, and just as good as this stuff is, we're gonna go. We're just gonna bring up
There we go.
the NHL. We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna bring up the playoff bracket.
We have some excitement in the NHL playoffs now here too, Coach.
Yes. Yeah, right now, game 3, we have the Avalanche were up 3-0, and the Golden Knights came back, tied at 3-3.
Yeah,
They lead the series 2-0. And we talked about this. The Avalanche, I believe, just lambasted everybody in the first 2 rounds.
they did. They breezed through. They lost one game to the Wild, and that's it.
And I said, the Golden Knights are our team.
Yeah,
Breezing through playoff series is not always a good thing. I don't.
no,
I think so. Facing some adversity is a good thing. Um, as a coach, I want my teams to face adversity because it gets you ready for when the rubber hits the road, essentially.
right.
And right now for the Avalanche, that's what's happening, and
Yeah.
that they're playing a team that's not going to give up, and they're going to continue to fight. So,
Well,
we'll
and they're
see.
losing this series too, and it looked like they might have had Game 3 dead to rights, and now it's tied. So there's no guarantee, and if they can't pull this off, Coach, then they're looking at a 3-0 deficit in a championship series. I mean, in a conference finals series, but this is a big deal for them. I mean, they're going to have to dig deep and figure this thing out if they want to get out of this series. But I don't know that they can. I mean, the Golden Knights are just, they're playing good hockey right now.
Right. Well, I agree, and I'd love to see the Golden Knights make it to Stanley Cup Finals, because I don't know when. It could be before our trip for the 4th of July. I might be taking a short trip to Vegas. It'd be awesome if I could make it work with like the Stanley Cup Finals, like a chance
Yeah.
of clinching, at least be in Vegas. I doubt I'll be able to afford going to the game
Right.
because the ticket prices are probably so outrageous.
Yeah, for a finals, yeah.
But if it was like Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals in Las Vegas and I was offered a ticket,
You might swing it, right, Coach?
I'd probably figure out how to swing it. So
yeah, that would be pretty sick. I won't lie. Yeah.
All right, moving over to the Eastern Conference. Again, the Hurricanes walked through to the conference finals. Now
didn't lose the game.
Find themselves tied 1-1 with the Canadiens. The only non-1 seed to make it.
Yeah.
Out of their little pod. Again, this could be cause for concern for the Hurricanes. And I think if the Canadiens make it and the Golden Knights make it, I think Golden Knights are going to win the Stanley Cup in 5.
Oh, I think so too, Coach. I mean, to me, they'd be the clear favorite, but I don't think they would look at it like, oh, this is, a team to be taken lightly in any way, shape, or form. And I think they would go out with a, we're going to win this damn thing kind of mentality. So,
Well, yeah, and I agree. I
Yeah.
absolutely agree with that. So, um, other than that, not a ton of like roster news. Obviously, you got the season's still going, so there's not a lot of news with roster
Yeah.
moves for other teams. NBA playoffs. We are also in the conference finals for the NBA.
Snooze.
Um, snooze?
One
Did you?
series is a snooze fest,
Oh
coach.
yeah, yeah. We'll start with that. The Eastern Conference.
Ugh.
this, the Knicks could probably sleepwalk and still win a game out of the next four.
I
Um,
I don't
but
know about you,
again,
but it seems like the Eastern Conference is just bleh.
well, yeah. Then this just shows you right here that the Eastern Conference is horrid,
Yeah,
absolutely horrid.
yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you come out of the East, you are gonna get lambasted by either the Thunder or the Spurs.
Right. Right. I mean, that's
I'm
the bottom
sorry.
line. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like,
And that's the thing, coach. I don't want people sitting here like, oh, the Knicks, especially if the Knicks sweep the Cavs, and be
oh,
like, oh,
don't
look at
I?
the Knicks. The Knicks are in the finals. Oh, so
Yeah,
what?
and they came out. I don't remember who it was. I think it was an NBA story. Um, one there was a um no, I'm not gonna be able to find it. A commentary, I think
Yeah.
who's the really like old longtime NBA analyst, larger individual. It's bugging my name.
So I think Kendrick Perkins is one of the, but I
No,
don't think he's old.
not Kendrick Perkins. I can't think of his name.
Okay.
Um, but um, he said that this is the most talented, one of the most talented Knicks teams ever.
Okay. I
I
I mean,
mean, I guess.
I mean they're talented, but I don't know if they're more talented than some other squads that the Knicks have had in the past.
I mean, I don't think you can still put them up there, even though they won a title with like the Ewing teams and stuff like that.
Right. I don't think so either. I
I
mean,
mean,
they're decent, but they're not that good.
back in that era, you knew it was the East was stacked,
Yeah.
and the West just they had the West had the Lakers,
Right.
but the East had the Celtics, the Pistons, the Knicks, the
Yeah.
Bulls. I mean, they had
Right.
everybody. Um, yeah, it's so hard to say that how good this Knicks team is because the East is so horrid.
That's just it, coach. I mean, we talked about at the very beginning of the NBA playoffs. The East was wide open for anybody to win, and really pretty much anyone probably could have. I don't look at this and say, "Oh, yeah, this team's really good" or whatever. There really isn't anybody. Yeah, the Knicks are solid. And I'm sure they're all happy that they got rid of Tom Thibodeau and they're like, "Oh, look at us. We're really good. We're going to make the finals, blah blah blah." But I, you're going to get blown out. So then does that mean that that's one of the best Knick teams ever? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's a resounding endorsement for them or anything like that, but they're a good team, but they're not a great team. So I think people just need to reset on their expectations and what they're looking
Right.
at.
Oh, that's exactly it. It's you don't know what the heck is going on there. Um, you know, like you said, they got rid of Thibodeau, and that's going to be a nice kind of lead into here. You know, with what I have to say. Um, but I don't think that all of a sudden they're a championship caliber team.
No.
So it's like right now you look at it, Oklahoma City's up 2-1, but I mean there's 6 minutes left in the fourth, and the Spurs are up by 20.
Right.
Wemby is looking all the part. And for me, you're only giving up 68 points so far.
Right.
That's good defense.
Yeah.
And that's like, I don't care if the NBA is shifting towards more offensive play. That's great. But I will say this, defense still is going to win you championships.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
if you don't play good defense, you're not going to win. So, yeah, whoever comes out of the West here is going to. I think that the Stanley Cup Finals and the NBA Finals are going to be snooze fests.
Yeah.
As we go forward. Now, you brought up get the Knicks being happy they got rid of Thibodeau.
You're right.
Read an article, and I was like, "Holy cow!" The Chicago sports scene is turning into an utter mess. An utter mess right now. You have the Blackhawks are in disarray. The Cubs that are slumping, that can't even field ground balls anymore.
Yeah.
You have the Chicago Bears have come on and said, we are building a stadium outside the city limits of Chicago.
Right. And maybe in Indiana, actually. So, hey, why not?
Indiana. But they confirmed it this like within the last 72 hours, I believe, that it will not be there. They are dropping their fight to get a stadium on the riverfront. So they will not be in the city of Chicago.
Yeah.
And now you have the Chicago Bulls, who aren't very good. And the rumors swirling around is they are going back to the well and maybe rehiring Tom Thibodeau as their head basketball coach.
Oh, didn't work out before. Why are you guys going to do it again?
Well, yeah, it didn't work, but it's the last time they made the playoffs.
Yeah, when he was their coach. Yeah, I mean,
when he was the coach.
Coach, he is a good coach. I mean, this is where I think people are like, oh, he wasn't getting us over the hump or whatever else. Yeah, but you suck since you got rid of him. So he's actually pretty good.
Yeah, he's not a bad coach.
No.
He's been a scapegoat in multiple destinations now.
Yeah.
So, last little bit of NBA news. Now, we all know that Giannis is the big topic here, right? I know people are saying that he needs to be traded. Yes, they could get a lot of draft capital for him, I think. But I don't think he's getting traded.
Yeah.
I think a deal would be done by now.
I would think so too. Or that at least the talk would be out there about that, coach, right? Because I haven't seen that or heard that.
Yeah, you're just seeing rumors of possible different packages.
Right.
People putting out like these are packages that people could give up. Like this package from May 20th, And I'll tell you right now, if this package would be offered to Milwaukee, I would say done.
Right.
All right, so this is a rumor from somebody that writes that could happen. Don't know. There's probably nothing to verify this. I'm gonna just share the tab so you can kind of see it.
Yeah.
So this is Bobby Marks thinks that this is what Miami should do. You get Giannis, but you're giving up Tyler Hero, Kel Elware, Nikola Jovic, this year's first round pick, the 2031 first round pick, 2033 first round pick, and then you're swapping your first round rights in 2029. I'd be all over that.
Oh, yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat. Yeah, I was just trying to read that, but yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat, coach.
Because by 2031 and 2033, Giannis is out of the league and the Heat probably stink. So it's gonna be good first round picks.
Yeah, I would take all of that if that were truly going to be the case. I would do that in a heartbeat. And why not? I mean, you've already, like we've talked about many times, you've already made your run with Giannis. You've already tried. You did everything you could, and here you are. So Milwaukee would need to rebuild right now. I think this is their way of rebuilding, is if you want to trade him away. But there's been no talk about him actually doing that. Like, people are saying, oh, he wants to leave. And I think people want him to leave. People want to manufacture this so that it happens, but it's not like Giannis is sitting up at the podium saying, I can't wait until I get out of Milwaukee. He's not doing that at all.
Right. Until he actually comes out and says, I want to be traded. I think this is just a way for people to get headlines.
Oh, absolutely.
Like this. I would be this would kind of pique my interest. Stephen A says that OKC could trade Chet Holmgren for Giannis. Now, you have to get more than Chet Holmgren and Giannis straight up.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't think Chet Holmgren is that he's all right, but he's not Giannis.
Right. But I mean, that would be intriguing. Here's another one from, about a week ago. I don't like this one as much as the Miami one.
Right, the T-Wolves one there, yeah.
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 And here's the thing. I think if Giannis were to be traded, he would want to stay in the East.
Yeah.
Because he knows, hey, we could stink and we'll still be in the conversation.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. He doesn't want to be in the West. You put him in the East somewhere, coach, and that team, whoever that is, most likely is coming out of the East.
Right.
And all you need is a shot. You just need a shot. And maybe you won't be able to compete with the young stars of the West and those really, really great teams, but maybe you will. Maybe you, I don't know, put yourself in the finals and see what happens. That's all you can do. So when you look at Detroit, coach, they won 60 games this year. I think, if you put Giannis on one of these teams in the East, you get them winning 50 or 55 games. That's all you need to do. Get yourself in the playoffs, and that's it.
Right.
So
we will we'll see where that goes, where that leads us.
Yeah.
Down the rabbit hole. All right. To Major League Baseball. We don't do a ton of Major League Baseball for those of you who are new, but because it's our initial show, we'll oblige everybody.
We can touch on it. Yeah. Yeah.
I am gonna pull us up here. I'm gonna have you kind of take the reins here. I gotta grab my charger. My computer is about to die. So before that happens, I want to make sure that I get it plugged in. So I'm gonna mute myself and black out my screen here while I go get my charger, and you can go ahead and kind of get everybody caught up on baseball. I'll still be able to hear you, but I just have to run
Sure.
across the room.
No problem. Yeah, I can dive in here. We'll start in the American League and we'll go from there over to the National League after we talk about the American League. Baseball is such a long season. So this is one of the reasons why the coach mentioned we don't talk about it a lot during the course of the season. There's just so many things that are going on. So we'll start in the East here. You kind of have the usual suspects, the Rays, the Yankees. They're both really good, kind of leading that division. Then you got the Blue Jays, the Orioles, and the Red Sox. I think it's interesting because, the Red Sox have been kind of up and down. The Orioles had that one nice year, but, right now they're kind of no one's really out of that division if you look at it. Then you go over to the Central, and you have the Cleveland Indians, Guardians, whatever people want to call them. I think I'll stick with the old school name, but that's just me. You have the White Sox, who were historically bad and are not historically bad this year. So you look at them; they're about even. They're at 500 here. So look, good for them. That's a win. They're not going to make the playoffs anyway, so it doesn't really matter. No one's really out in that division, but you have some teams there that just aren't very good. And that's kind of the Central's MO in the American League. They've never really been great. Usually only get one team out of the playoffs there. Over in the West, believe it or not, the Athletics, the Sacramento Athletics,
Sacramento Athletics
are in first place in that division. I did not think that was possible. However, they are about 500 and leading that division. So let's just say that division is garbage. The Astros had their run. The Rangers had their run. Everybody in that division is terrible. And that's about it. So, yeah. And then going over the National League, from the East, I'm a little bit surprised, Coach, that the Mets are on the bottom here. Now, they're not out of it by any means, but they have been really good. And the Marlins kind of, they've always been bad, but I'm just a little surprised. We'll see if they turn things around. I'm not quite sure why they're so bad this year. And then you have the Braves, who are pretty much always a good franchise. They've had some ups and downs in various years, but they're a good franchise and they're having a good year this year again. I'll bounce to the West and then maybe we can wrap it up with the Central and talk about what's going on there since our team is in the Central. The Dodgers are winning the West right now. I am so shocked. I just amazed that they are on top of that division. I guess when you have a payroll that matches the GDP of a country in Europe, I mean, that's pretty much going to be the case. And then you have everybody else. So, not a lot to say there. The Rockies aren't very good, but the Rockies were also historically bad. I think last year they lost like 100+ games. So, not shocking. And then we'll finish up with the Central. So, Coach, I'm encouraged because the Brewers are still in first place.
Well, yeah, they started out hot, and then they stunk it up for a good 3 weeks. They were all the way in dead last, about 3 games under 500, and it was looking bad.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You had Yelich was out, Cheerio was out.
Right.
They had 4 or 5 studs out.
Yeah.
Those guys are coming back and starting to get into form. Yeah, they lost these last 2 games to the Dodgers, which, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm okay. Like last year, they head-to-head beat the Dodgers in the regular season in their 2 series, and then the Dodgers drubbed them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'd rather have it the other way around. Let the Dodgers think, "Oh, these guys are a pushover," and I don't think Mizorowski pitched against the Dodgers. There's no way the Dodgers are touching Mizorowski.
No, he's great. Yeah.
That there was a stat. He has 8 of the top 10 fastest pitches this year.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah.
That's nuts. And he's only in his 2nd year of pitching in the
Right.
majors.
So,
8 of the top 10 fastest pitches this year. That's nuts. And he's only in his 2nd year of pitching in the majors.
Right.
So, yeah, so, 8 of the top 10 fastest pitches this year. Right. So, 8 of the top 10 fastest pitches this year. So, yeah, so obviously they're only 50 games in, but when you sit here and you trade away a couple of key guys and people are like, "Oh my lord, what are they doing?"
Right.
The Brewers GM has to be considered one of the best GMs in sports right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he's finding guys that like he's taking the table scraps and making a gourmet meal.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
It's
what he
like
does
that
year in and year
that
out.
TV show, that Leftover show, right? You
Yeah.
take the
Yeah,
leftovers
yeah,
out of the fridge
Cutthroat
and you make
Kitchen.
a good meal.
Cutthroat
Yeah.
Kitchen. It's just like that, and
Yeah.
that's what he's doing.
Right.
And he's doing it with now the Brewers owners give them more money, but not much more than what the
Yeah.
Sealigs did. I mean, the Sealigs basically were kind of like the show Major League or the movie Major League.
Right.
They were trying their
The
darndest
least
to
amount
get
of
the
money
Brewers
you
out
can
of
have.
Milwaukee, and they couldn't.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, and then for the longest time here, the Cubs surged.
Right.
I mean, they had like a 4-game lead on everybody. They've lost 8 in a row.
Yeah.
Uh, it's just
Well,
it's
and
kind of funny. Sorry, Cubs fans.
it kind of is, but coach, we know because I'll say this, our organization made a smart move in getting rid of the manager they had and letting the Cubs have him, right? I
Well,
mean, we
remember they didn't get rid of him. He decided to leave.
well, right, that's what I mean. Yeah. So yeah, he left and he went there and it's like this is what you're going to get. I mean, did he have a good run in Milwaukee? Yes, he had a good run in Milwaukee. I'm not taking that away from him, but you kind of always knew what you were going to get at certain points of the year or in the playoffs with Counsell, and here we are. I mean, that's one of the best things that the Brewers did after he left. They probably, I mean, could they have kept him if they really wanted to? I guess that's what I'm getting at. Like, they didn't fight to like try to keep him there
No,
with everything
yeah,
that they had.
right. He probably received an offer from the Cubs
Yeah,
and went to the Brewers and said, "Hey, I've been offered this. I want you
right.
to match." And they were like, "No, not
No,
doing it. Sorry."
right. Right. And yeah, and obviously it's worked out because you look at Milwaukee right now, coach. I mean, they were one of the best teams in baseball last year. I think they ended up with the best record at the end of the year, if I remember
They did.
correctly.
Yep.
And now they're at the top of their division again. And not there every single moment of the year, but they're number one in their division again. Like this, the manager that they have now is obviously worked out. Murphy's worked out. This has been great. So
Yeah, and I'll say I'll be one of the first people to say it. I was not a fan of the Murphy hire when they
yeah,
first made it. I thought this was a stopgap, because I
right,
think they have, and I still think they have, um, some really good managerial candidates in their organization.
right,
And I thought this was like a year or two stopgap, a rebuild type thing. And
right.
all Murphy has done is gain 2 Manager of the Year awards and been to the playoffs twice
Yeah,
with the division title.
right.
That's all.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, So yeah,
Well, and the Brewers are limited by who they are, coach, right? Like you were saying, they just don't have the budget that some of these other teams do. So for what they are and the accomplishments that they've had, it's been amazing, in my opinion.
right. And that's why I really hope that the owners of Major League Baseball will truly, sincerely look at a salary cap.
Yeah,
And the biggest gripe's going to be, well, you can't sit here and say these people that haven't, you know, that are making hundreds of millions of dollars, you can't all of a sudden have them take a 80% pay cut. I'm not saying that,
right.
but how about this? You say, we're going to be instituting a salary cap. Each year, we're going to bring people into compliance. It may
Yeah.
take a couple of years to do.
Right.
I'm okay with that. But it
Right.
forces these teams to stop also and just be like, oh, hey, yeah, here's some more monopoly money. We're gonna throw this at you because the contract's so backloaded, we aren't gonna have to pay you for like 50 years anyways.
Right. Well, and it's just such a disparity with these teams because of that. All these other leagues have a salary cap. I don't know how many times we've said this. Every other league has a damn salary cap, but this one doesn't. So
Right.
you get this disparity all the time because of it. And that's just
Right.
year in, year out,
Right. Oh,
And I haven't even met fans of baseball that I've talked to, and I'm like, baseball should really have a salary cap. And they're like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. Well, if you agree that the only
right.
people that don't are the
Right.
freaking people who are running baseball.
Right. So
So
there you have it, everybody. We have about a month and we'll be close halfway through the baseball season already.
yeah,
It's just again, it's such a long season. Um, so we don't
right.
talk about it a ton. Quickly going over to the NFL. Aaron Rodgers has officially announced this is his last year.
We'll see about that, Coach.
I am t- I am taking him at his words.
Okay. You know what? I think you're probably right. I think he's done because I don't think he wants to sit in Pittsburgh with McCheeseburger for more than 1 year. I really don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not going to be a fun year um for the Steelers, I don't think.
No, I don't
Um
think so.
so I did want to talk about this. So, if everybody remembers last year, Teddy Bridgewater
I was going to bring
coached
this up.
a team in Miami, a high school team in Miami, to a state championship. Got into trouble because he used his own money to help kids out. So not like buying them clothes and stuff, but just essentials like getting them transportation, bus passes, food, things like to live.
Right.
And the state high school association disciplined them. So for
He was
us here in
suspended.
Wisconsin, right, he was suspended. So for us, it'd be the WIA. Um, I'm hoping that this goes nationwide because, like right now in Wisconsin too, if I have an athlete that he says I can't play anymore because I don't have a way to get home from practice.
Right.
I can't. I technically I can't physically give them a ride home.
Right.
I can get somebody else to give them rides home, like a non-coach, like
Right.
a parent or something like that. But I can't. How
Right.
absurd is that? It's a ride home.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and there may be some issues, coach, doing something to a player, something stupid like that. I don't know if that's
Right.
what people would
I
say, but
I
I've
get
never
I
heard
get
about
I
that
get
either,
that.
you know?
But it's like, okay, well, my mom and dad, they don't have gas money. Okay, well,
Right.
here's a $50 gas card.
But you can't do that.
We can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the spirit of the rule might have been, trying to prevent coaches from buying players and doing
Correct.
all this kind of stuff or whatever.
And that's what it is. That's what it is. But I mean, come on.
Right. Right.
I'll tell you right now, there's a situation right now in the state of Wisconsin, and I had this better get and once I confirm it, we'll talk about this on the show, and I will put the whole state on blast for this.
Yeah.
There's a school down south. I'm not gonna say it has won like the last 4 or 5 state championships.
Yeah.
Basketball, and I'm not gonna say what kind of school it is or what school it is. They're getting a highly recruited, I think he's like 6'6" or 6'7" player out from out west, moving to Wisconsin to go to school there.
Yeah.
And his parents just both happen to be in education. Huh. No ties to the state, from what
Right.
I'm aware. Maybe some to that area, but why would you leave a good paying job out west to come to Wisconsin?
Because it's easier for your child to go and play basketball there. I don't know.
You said it, not me. So it's stuff like that that's happening, but yet we can't help these kids that are underprivileged and struggling. We can't help them out. Like if technically, if a player shows up, a football player shows up, doesn't have cleats.
Yeah.
Okay. If the school doesn't have any cleats laying around from past students to fit that student, we technically can't go buy them cleats.
Right. And I just find that to be crazy. You know, when I was reading, so I read the bill in Florida, they called the Bridgewater Act. And it is very limiting on the type of stuff that you're able to do, just
Well,
so that
right.
people understand. So when you were talking about just now about buying cleats, I was kind of looking at this. It's not like you can go out and buy them a freaking Rolls Royce or something,
Right.
right? Like people need to understand that this isn't going to give coaches the ability to essentially buy off players or, you know, that sort of thing. That's not what you're doing. Um, and you know, Teddy Bridgewater is spending a bunch of his money just to allow kids to be able to get home from practice and have food on the table to survive. That's
Right.
all he was doing. And I mean, a coach is somebody who is, you know, somebody that kids look up to in a community. They're a community figure. For that person to help their own community, he's using his own damn money to do that. I don't see that as being a problem. And this is a story that I really wanted to get your opinion on, Coach, because this is you. You've been a coach for such a long time. I wanted to know what you thought about it because it affects high school sports. And it sounds like you're a proponent of having this sort of thing be in every state, if at all
Yeah,
possible.
I think it should be in every state should adopt it, and then every state get rid of the NIL money.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's where, you know, people don't understand that. Like in Wisconsin, you can get an NIL deal.
Right.
You can get NIL deals in high school.
That's
Um,
crazy to me. That's crazy.
you know, and it's not, you know, when you're in the north, it's really going to affect, you know, the Madison, Milwaukee, Fox Valley area where you got a lot of big high schools, you know,
Yeah.
um, you know, yeah. Now a school can't go and be like, "Oh, we'll give you $1,000."
Yeah.
It's a little, it is restricted, but you can still do that. So, like, students can get a local business can say, "Hey, um, we'll give you money to do a commercial for us playing doing some basketball shots."
Yeah.
And they just can't wear their school stuff. Like you can't say like if they're from, let's just say Appleton, they can't say anything with Appleton on it. You
Right.
know, it's so but if all of a sudden you're a backer of, you're an alumni of Wausau West, and all of a sudden there's a really good athlete that's do I go to Wausau West or do I open enroll to DC Everest? And all of a
Yeah.
sudden this businessman that's a alumni of Wausau West says, "Hey, you go to Wausau West, you do these commercials for me, and I'll give you $5,000."
Right.
He can
Well,
do
that's
that.
easy.
He can do that. It's like
Yeah.
like it's
That's
so
absurd to
stupid.
me. Yeah, it's
They're a
absurd.
14-year-old kid getting offered $5,000.
Yeah.
Now, probably won't be. I haven't heard of any huge deals like even to that retrospect.
But it's coming, don't you think? I mean, if people
absolutely.
can do it, they'll do it.
Absolutely. All right.
Yeah.
Real quick, and I hate to do it, we gotta bring up the WNBA because the hack of Clark is in effect again. She got beat around the other day. I think this is their last game, and they're not calling fouls again.
Yeah.
Now you see what team's up there at 4-1.
I'm not looking at the standings. I was just kind of looking at, let's see what the standings are
So
here.
Atlanta is 4
The
and 1,
Atlanta
and
Dream.
Indiana's 4-2.
Yeah.
Who's on the Atlanta Dream?
Did Angel Reese end up in Atlanta? Is that
Yeah,
yeah.
the Me Bounds.
Yes, the Me Bounds.
And then you got Caitlin Clark. Is the WNBA going to rig this so you have Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, and WNBA finals?
I mean, why not, coach? Because there's really literally no point to the WNBA otherwise, right? Let's go. No, I can't take away from the other past champions that have actually won the championship as opposed to these two teams which haven't, but I wouldn't put it past them. However, for that to be the case, would you think that Caitlin Clark would have to actually make it through an entire season so that she could
That's
actually
true.
play in the WNBA finals?
That is true. That is true. That is
She's
true.
getting beat up again.
So,
So, yeah. No,
all
I
right.
don't think that'll happen. I don't know.
I
But
thought I'd bring that up.
oh yeah. Yeah.
All right. Last thing, really quick. Arsenal. Well, there's one other thing. We're gonna end on something really good.
Oh,
We got
okay.
Arsenal finally wins the Premier League after 22 years.
Yeah.
I can't believe it was that long. I remember when they were the unstoppable force in
Oh
European
yeah.
soccer. So
Yeah. It is pretty amazing. And I think what you're seeing here too is getting a little ready here for I'll say football, because everybody else in the world calls it football. But the soccer World Cup here.
yep, and
Um, yeah.
that's what I was kind of getting to.
Okay.
We got the World Cup is um it's technically hosted by the US, but games are being played in Mexico, Canada, and the US.
Right.
Um and it actually starts June 11th. Um yeah, I don't even know how long it goes till.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long it takes.
Holy smokes. I mean, this is like we're to June. This isn't the World Cup like a month long?
Yeah, it's at least that long. Yeah.
Holy cow. July 5th. We're still going. July 6th. Man.
And I'm curious to see, Coach, how the United States fares in this World Cup, especially if they're playing games, I'll say at home, because obviously you're playing in the United States, but I'm curious to see how that plays out, you know.
Man, this thing goes like all summer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is like round 16. The round of 16. It's
Yeah.
like the July 11th.
I should look at the schedule here and see. Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at. Semifinals, July 19th.
Okay. Yeah, that's a long thing. All right. Yeah.
This the World Cup finals, July 19th. And you're telling me this is the best place you could find for a final? MetLife Stadium in New Jersey.
Really?
Why would why wouldn't you do like, I don't know, Dallas?
There's a lot of better places than that. It's
I'll
not
tell you what,
interfering with the NFL season in any way.
I'm not a Jerry Jones fan, but he
Yeah.
knows how to host big events.
Well, yeah, and that's what the stadium is there for.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
that's stupid.
I agree.
That is dumb.
So it looks like the United States kicks off in SoFi against Paraguay in June. So we'll see how
Yeah,
that goes. Yeah.
yeah. When you look at um their bracket, come on, come on. Um,
Yeah, who do they have here?
so it's Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. If they don't come out of their bracket or their group,
Yeah.
we need to shutter the men's soccer.
Yeah,
And
just be
done
done.
with
You guys are done. That's it. You're done.
I mean, no disrespect to Paraguay and Turkey. We should kick the living you know what out of you.
Yeah. The United States really, I mean, they really should be beating they should be doing well enough in that to come out of that bracket. There's no question about that. I agree with you.
So, but we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see what happens there. Let's see.
It's always
Final.
disappointing when you talk about
Yeah,
soccer in the United States, coach, because, it's not the national pastime for the United States. And it's difficult because you want them to do well, but you just hope they get out of their group
right. Well, right.
year in,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Last thing. You're gonna like this. The PWHL Walter Cup champions, the Montreal Victory,
Nice.
are the 2026 PWHL champions. Like we keep saying, by far my favorite professional women's sport to watch. Now, I will say this: if they had and maybe they do, I don't know if they do or not. I was gonna say, if they had like, um, professional women's softball league, I might be all over that
Yeah.
because that I love softball's fun to watch.
Well, I think this would be fun to go to at some point, coach. And there's going to be, like I told you, the PWHL is expanding. And I
They're
mentioned this
expanding
last
to
time, it's
Vegas.
going to be in Vegas. So, like, there you go.
So yeah, so I could see us definitely eventually picking up, some.
Yeah, hit up a women's hockey game in Vegas at maybe T-Mobile. I don't know if that's where they're going to play, but I would
Yeah,
assume so.
you would assume they'd play at T-Mobile. Everything inside's at T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? But all right, that's all I have, Lone Wolf. We are actually doing pretty well. We are at about
Yeah.
59 minutes. We got a few minutes left. If there's anything else you want to bring up, discuss.
No, I don't think so. I think this went well for us. Obviously, now that we have video capability, for those who have listened to our shows before, we'll have to throw some other things into the mix at some point. But for now, I think this is good.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be able to get some clips and stuff, maybe do some highlight reels,
Yeah.
things like that. Our top 10 list, we can actually have graphics.
Right.
Holy smokes! The
Welcome to
draft.
the 21st century.
Yeah, the draft will be fun next year. We actually can put up our draft board.
Yeah.
And instead of just like, hey, this is what we think. But
right.
So, all right. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us for our inaugural live stream here on Riverside with the Riverside app. And as we've said for the last 5 years, enjoy your week, and we'll talk to you next time.
Next time.